This is Phelan. He's 7 years old. He's my special boy. He came to me as a 2-week-old kitten, and I bottle-fed him and took care of him and raised him as my own. Now he's extremely spoiled and well-loved. Unfortunately, he's one of the lucky ones. I've saved over 35 cats in just the 6 years that I've lived in this particular area. That's what I do. I'm the crazy cat lady that takes in all of the cats. Whenever somebody finds a stray, they know where to take it. Although the work that I do has affected the individuals greatly, it is a tip of the iceberg, because there are over 7 million animals that are taken into shelters every year, and it is certain that at least 4 million of them each year are put to death. The Humane Society estimates that the numbers are actually closer to 11 million animals that are put to death in shelters every year, but there are 15,000 shelters nationwide that are independent, so we can't exactly tabulate their numbers. That's millions and millions of healthy, vibrant animals that are put to death only because there's no room for them to stay in the shelters. 25% of the dogs that are in those shelters are purebreds. Yet 70% of the cats and 60% of the dogs that go into shelters end up dying, at the very least. Those are the most minimal numbers that are available. Yet still 26% of dog owners get their dogs from breeders, and 10% of pet owners still get their pets from pet stores. Now, this doesn't make any sense. You're wasting your money and you're wasting a life. And most of the animals that come from pet stores come from puppy mills, where the animals are literally bred to death and kept in these deplorable conditions in tiny little cages where they're psychologically tortured. And the puppies that come from these animals are often weak and unhealthy, and you end up spending even more in veterinary costs. It doesn't make any sense to buy top dollar from a breeder or from a pet store when you could spend so much less and get so much more by rescuing an animal from a shelter and saving a life, and reducing the demand for these bred animals, which are often inbred and sickly and often end up being even more neurotic. So my message here is to save money and save a life, and adopt at a shelter or adopt off the street. That's what I did. Most of my animals came right off the street. They found me at my doorstep practically. I think they know something. And when you get an animal, spare the cost and get it spayed or neutered. It's vitally important. You never know what's going to happen. And the cost of spaying and neutering, no matter where you get it done, is far less than the cost of taking care of a litter of animals. And most counties don't have no-kill shelters because there's not a high enough demand. There's no funding and resources available for new shelters to open and for space to become available. They have no choice. Either they have to turn animals away or they have to euthanize the animals. So you can get a hold of your local Congress people, you can get a hold of your senators, you can get a hold of your county commissioners, and you can demand that they ask for more funding for local shelters and animal rescue centers and spay-neuter programs. That's how we can get change in this country, by demanding change. And for those of us that cannot speak for themselves, we need to fight the hardest. Thank you for listening, and make sure to love your animals. Make sure to take care of them and appreciate them, because they appreciate you. Thank you. Take care.